Time is flying by so fast. It's already time for us to pick our April TBR together. I am planning on taking it pretty easy in April. March was a busy bee for me. March has Ramathon, which is my competitive team-based readathon, so I'm reading a lot, I'm vlogging a lot, I'm on live sprints. So April is a change of pace for me. Besides one weekend, there is something coming soon for one weekend in April that we are going to be grinding hard for. Any guesses in the comments? But overall, I think my game plan for April, especially knowing that May has escaped the readathon, which is a readathon that my friend Lexi created, and it happens every single May, that will be like grinding out and being busy again. I want to just read the things I want to read. I want to mood read a little bit. I don't want to have too many like vlog projects going on, and I want to focus on other hobbies. I'd love to get back into coloring, and really something I've been very focused on is crocheting, and I bought this yarn to crochet myself a sweater. So on top of reading, I think there is a goal for me to crochet an entire sweater in April. I can definitely do that with the help of audiobooks, but there's something else that I think will be very useful for me this month, which is the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare makes it so easy to learn new hobbies and to grow the skills I already have. I have crocheted before. I've been making a cardigan in my videos, and I make a genre blanket every single year. I've made some baby blankets, but to get better at this hobby, I need to relearn some of the basics sometimes, learn new things. And Skillshare just makes it so easy to take classes. It's an online platform full of real people teaching real classes, so I love to learn from someone who also loves to crochet. Currently, I'm just trying to get back to the basics, so I'm taking a class called The Most Complete Crochet Course for Beginners, Learn All the Basics by Emily Bulda. And I believe they have a crochet social media, so it's been nice to learn from someone who you can tell just loves the craft. But my favorite thing about Skillshare has always been the fact that I can do it within my busy schedule. I can take a class and pause that class at any point to make it work within what I am doing that day, and it just picks up seamlessly for me at another point. It means that I can get the first part of a class in at my breakfast and then a second part of the class in at my lunch and so forth, and I'm not being forced to work at someone else's pace. I can work at my own pace. I can rewatch something if I haven't like gotten that down quite yet. I personally just love Skillshare, and you can learn so many things on it. I am taking crochet classes right now, but I've taken classes on coloring before. I've taken classes on marketing and YouTube and vlogging. And so with that, I get to share my love of Skillshare with you, and the first 500 people to click the link in my description or scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video and for helping me get some cozy crafts in for the month of April. I just think taking it easy sometimes is very good for your mental health, and so that's what I need to do. However, will the game board agree? That is always the question, because on this channel, I play a game to pick my reads. I love to gamify my reading. I play Snakes and TBR Stacks, which is inspired by the game Snakes and Ladders. I roll a die 5 times if I completed my TBR last month and 6 if I didn't. I didn't. I read more than 6 books, but were they on my TBR? No. And then if I land on a snake, I have to go down the snake and I add another book to my TBR, add another roll. And if I land on a ladder, it's kind of just like a reward prompt, and then we just move up the ladder. It's pretty simple. Let's take a look at roll 1. We ended last month on fantasy, so we start there this month and roll 1. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Multi-POV, and zoom, we go down a snake already. Well, you know what? 1 snake is not the worst thing possible, because I do typically read around 8-ish books in a month, so we're still okay, but I always like some room for flexibility. I am a mood reader. I just like direction, so that's why I like the TBR game, because otherwise I just get so overwhelmed with how I could pick any book. Like, the world is my oyster. Any book could be on my TBR. So I like a little bit of direction. I'm just gonna take it as a good thing at this point. I'm gonna take it as a blessing in disguise, even though I didn't want it. But for this one, we will get to continue a series because we landed on multi-POV, so we just have to have multiple characters with point of views in the story. And I am currently binging my way through a cult classic, a cult favorite. I read City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, and I'm on City of Lost Souls, and I'm hoping to get to that this week while I'm filming this a little bit early. So I'm gonna put City of Heavenly Fire on my TBR for the month. This is the 6th and final book in the Mortal Instruments series. I am ready for this to devastate me. I'm ready to just have it all come together and see, I think, a conclusion for these particular characters, like Clary and Jace and them. And I'm very excited for this. I'm intrigued by it all. Mortal Instruments is a series that follows Clary, who one day sees her mom be attacked by a demon and then sees these shadow hunters, and she is a human. They call them a mundane, and she's not supposed to see them, and so she ends up being taken back to the shadow hunter school, and there she learns about shadow hunters, and she learns her mother has been lying to her and a bunch of other mysteries and intrigues, and she learns so much about herself and these other characters. And I have definitely come to think of these characters a little bit as family. I love this society, this world building. I love this idea that we could have vampires and demons and shadow hunters in our world, but we just can't see them. I think that that's really fascinating and really interesting and adds to lore. I love the idea that all stories are true in this. Something that has really stuck with me is that myths come from something, and I really love that that's incorporated so well into this. And then I just have to say I'm a stan for Cassandra Clare because of how well she plots her stories. I have been obsessed with seeing all the odds and ends like come together, seeing all the twists, seeing the plotting that she did back in like book 1 for things that are happening in book 5. Like, it's absolutely unreal how good of an author she really is at all of those things. Like, there's hints. If you were really paying attention, if you were playing detective, you could guess every single twist. However, they still feel like twists because there's so much going around that like they just feel well done. Like, they feel like well crafted. You guess some, you don't guess some because you're thinking too much about this thing, so you're just like missing these things, but the Easter eggs, they're all there. I'm a big fan, and I'm shocked because I would have said that I was never reading these probably a year ago, and that was my own bias coming through of what I thought these were. But I am a big fan of the show, so like I don't know why I felt that way. I think once I finish this, I might do a rewatch of the show because I am a fan of the show, and so far I think I still like the show a little bit better, which is a hot take, but it was the first piece of media that I consumed in this world, so for me I think that makes sense. But I'm wondering if on a rewatch I will dislike the show because of changes now that I've read the books, so I'm just like fascinated by that. But I am someone who typically does love an adaptation. I love to see adaptations as like, this is how someone else interpreted the story, this is what mattered to someone, and this is what didn't matter to someone, or they thought this would be better if it changed, and I just like seeing the creative side and creative interpretations of things. It's also why I love to disagree with books. Back when I had a book club, I had so much fun when me and my host had like very different opinions, because I just think it's so crazy how subjective reading is, and it's so fun to see how we interpret things based on our own life and situations and things like that, and I have really enjoyed this series so far. Roll 2. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Audio. And another snake. Zoom. Another snake. The board is out to get me. It was so nice to me last month when I wanted to read an unhinged amount and I had so many reading plans, and now that I want to take it chill, it's like, oh, here's 2 snakes in a row. At least this one's an audiobook, and I personally love to crochet while doing an audiobook, so that'll be perfect for my sweater. I'm doing like a little pink and red striped sweater thing that I'm very excited about. I've been looking for one for a while, and I think it's gonna be super cute, and I'm very excited to start wearing it, so I really want to start it. So that means I have to grind through some things because this finishes this series. However, the Mortal Instruments is a whole world. There are so many series, and I'm nowhere close to being done. And against the advice of many of you, I skipped over Clockwork Angel, and I'm very happy I did so far. I think that for me, this is the best way for me to read a series, is I just get invested in the characters. I don't like to leave them, and this has just worked so much better for my brain. But I do want to get to this. I've heard that this is god tier for so many people that I am going to be reading Clockwork Angel this month as well. I want to just continue my binge. I want to commit to the Cassie Clare universe. And I do have the audiobook for this one, so I am very excited to get to it. I've actually been listening to the audiobook of all of these, and I do really enjoy them, and it's been really easy for me to really take things a little bit easier on myself and do some of the hobbies I've been loving, because when reading is your job, sometimes it's hard to like work in other things, especially around content creation, and I'm having a good time trying to learn work-life balance and doing some things I love, and audiobooks always make it so that I can feel less guilty when I'm doing other things and I'm like, well, I should be working. This way I can kind of hit two birds with one stone. I don't really know anything about this series besides that we do see crossovers and that there is a really big spoiler for this series in the ending of the first original series. However, I'm a spoiler lover. I'm someone who like looks up spoilers for things as I read. It really adds to the Easter egging effect for me that I get to see them since I'm not really a big rereader, although I probably would like rereading because of the fact that I love spoilers and I love seeing like the craft, and I think it has made me love Cassandra Clare more because I know some of the spoilers, because I really can appreciate everything she's done within these knowing those spoilers. So I'm not worried about the spoiler or anything. I know I'm gonna get comments. I know it every single time. People rage at me for reading this out of publication order, but I did what works best for me and I'm okay with that. So I will be reading this after I finish those 6. Roll 3. 6. I swear to God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Human is pretty easy. It means that the main character is a human entity, really, or that humans play a big part. It's pretty stretchable in my opinion. But last month I read Conform by Ariel Sullivan. I keep saying this, but something I really learned about myself is how much I love to marathon my series, how much I love to stay in the world and not forget about them. Typically, once it's been a while, I really struggle to get back into the series or reading. Rebel, Witch, and Fearless are sitting on the shelf unread, and I think that's a really big motivation for me to not let series become those, because it's been so far along that I don't have the agency and the urge to pick them up because I am not as like invested anymore, even though I really should. So I don't want to let my series become that. And so Conform has a prequel series coming out this month called Beneath that I would love to get to. This is a dystopian romance, and as I said, Beneath is the prequel series. I actually don't know a lot about it. I just enjoyed Conform enough that I would like to continue on in not only this series but the other series that come with it, because she is writing 3 trilogies, I believe, within the same world. So I'm expecting the prequel and then what Conform is, and then also maybe like a secondary like sequel series afterwards. But overall, I'm just like very much happy to continue on in a world that I've already kind of been a part of. It is dystopian, so it is our world, but it feels like there was still world building and stuff because it feels different than our world, even though it feels like our world could become this, which is such the commentary of dystopian. Yeah, I'm very much excited to continue on in this trilogy of trilogies. I personally would prefer that the sequel to Conform come out next. However, the sequel does come out soon, and I can't be mad about that, but for my own reading preferences, I do wish that the actual sequel to this was first. But I am excited to see more authors writing within the same world. I do love that. I've learned to know that I really do love seeing the Easter eggs and things like that. So I am not mad about a whole world happening here. Roll 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A pink or red cover is pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. And for this one, I have the perfect one that I have been itching to read, but for some reason it just keeps getting passed by, and it's Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cashino. This is a thriller story about a woman who wants to buy a house, and she will do anything to buy that house. I want to get to this sooner rather than later because I just bought my first house and I felt a little unhinged while buying it. I was stressy. There were things that I think I would have done in order to get this house. Thankfully I got it. I'm just kidding here. I'm very excited to see the unhingedness, and I think I could really enjoy this, that it's fast paced, and I think it would hit me a lot harder reading it closer to having just went through this whole process. I also know that there's commentary on like the housing industry and how insane that's gotten, how bad it's gotten, and things like that. There's also an exploration of class and ambition, and I love all of those things in my stories, so I'm very much excited to get to this. And this is pretty short, so it'll be perfect for something coming up. Just saying. I'm a little teased today. Roll 5. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Creature means essentially the main character is really supposed to be a creature, but I tend to stretch this one very often to just there's creatures that are prevalent in the story. And I may be really stretching it on this one, but I wanted an easy month and I have a book club book that I'm very excited to get to. So Mel from Melanor Reads and me run a Patreon book club together where every single month we pick a book and we have a Discord chat and we all chat about it. It's actually a lot of fun. We have some wins, we have some losses, and for the month of April we picked Starside by Alex Astor. This will be the second thing I've read from Alex Astor. I read her YA series, the start of it, which is called Lightlark, and I enjoyed it, but I wanted a little bit more complexity and themes I think that we will see in an adult story from her, so I'm very, very much excited. The synopsis on this one says, if the ancient creatures, magic-wielding beasts, and bloodthirsty immortals weren't dangerous enough, a new peril has even immortals fearing what rises from the ground at night. I am just taking that there's creatures, right? There's creatures in this story. This one I think does follow a tournament, and I do love a little trial tournament setting. It's something that I find very engaging in books. I know people are sick of them, but I am not. I am not people. I love a trial. I think it keeps the plot moving forward at a pretty steady pace for me that I enjoy, and there's world building done through the trials. I rarely think, ugh, trial. I'm just excited every time I hear trial. There are trials that aren't done as well. I want like complex trials that take a little bit and there's stakes to them, but I still love the buzzword trials, and I will probably try any romantasy that has it. This one says every 50 years the gates open between the rich and the poor, and I love that already. There's gonna be a nuance and conversation there that I'm going to really, really enjoy. And then we have our main character, and they open so that there is a deadly quest to access a pool of magic that can heal, grant wealth, or extend life, and everyone has their reasons for entering. But our main character, Eris, has only vengeance. As a child, a goddess set fire to her village, killing her family. And so she's not after the god's magic, she's after the ability to kill them. Take them down, off with their head. And I love a revenge story. I love a female character who is angry, and she is going to let her anger out in some way. She is going to take down the world. She's gonna set fire to it. There's something about swords being claimed too that is really interesting and exciting in this. I just think that this is going to be really good. I also know there's a King Guard Harlan, like it's got a romantasy aspect. I'm very much excited. I did like Lightlark, so I am excited to see what she does for an adult story. Roll 6. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spinner wheel is next, so I gotta put some books on a spinner wheel. And for this, I'm going to take my contemporary romance shelf. This is all the contemporary romance that I physically own that I have not read, and I'm gonna put them on a wheel, and we're gonna spin it to see what I have to read. We have Fireline, which is about cowboys. I would have thought it was about firefighters, but apparently it's about cowboys. Maybe he's a cowboy firefighter. King of Wrath, which I think is like a dark romance. Tame the Heart, a small town romantic suspense, I think. Soul Searching, a paranormal small town romance. And then we have The Write-Off, which I think is two people competing writing a book, and it's like second chance, maybe rivals? I could be wrong. And I should say that The Write-Off and Fireline were both sent to me by Berkeley, so thank you so much to Berkeley for sending these to me for free. They don't pay me or anything. I just get some books that I can review, honestly. Okay, are we ready? Let's see what we're gonna be reading. This is exciting. I like to see what I'm gonna get. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay, this one was sent to me by Marty, who is a friend and a patron of mine, and I'm excited. This has been on my TBR probably the longest out of all of these. I don't know why I said probably, actually the longest, and I have been in a mood and doing a video series where I read some of the things off my physical TBR, so I think that this will work really well. I also think it's pretty short. It's just under 400 pages, short for me, so it also work maybe really well for something coming up. But I'm just excited. I want to dive more into contemporary romance. I have been enjoying it quite a bit. It's like a really good palate cleanser for me, an easy brain off, so I'm very much excited to get to this. Roll 7. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yellow or orange cover is another one. I feel like it's pretty easy to know what I'm talking about. And for this one, I have a cover that's both of these colors. I feel like I did good because pink and red was also both of those colors. Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinneman. I want to get to this sooner rather than later. It's a standalone by the same author as Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is a story that I absolutely have loved reading and binging and getting my way through. Carl as a character has been so fun. I feel like there's a lot of charm to the way Matt Dinneman writes, and I'm really excited to try something else from him. This is kind of the same premise but slightly different. Instead of Earth being invaded, Earth is invading an alien country, province, world. We're forcing them into a game. I'm excited to see what this means. I feel like there's always good talk about like AI and and capitalism and taking down the man and things like that within Matt Denman stories, well, at least in the Dungeon Crawler Carl books. So I'm very excited to see what this one brings. And I also love the campy humor of them. I'm hoping for same but different vibes, and I'm hoping for a 5-star here. And hopefully our last roll. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A wild. And we get to go up the ladder for next time. I think the board felt a little bit rude since it gave me 2 snakes, but it gave me a wild for our last pick. And for this one, I let my patrons pick a book for me every single month on my TBR. And so this is the one I decided to give them because I had no parameters, so I thought it was fun. I ended up giving myself a parameter, which was arcs that I have that I'm very excited about. So for this one, I gave them This Wretched Alchemy by Tina Mars, which is an enemies to lovers with trials. Hunted by the Demon's Vow by A.N. Cottle, which is forbidden love, I think, in hell. And Hunted by the Dragon Shifter by Courtney Wims, which is the Bachelor meets Romantasy. And The Hollow Huntress by Catherine Bro, which is rivals to lovers, both assassins, and she's sent to kill him. I'm excited for all 4 of these, so there was nothing I innately wanted to win. And currently, This Wretched Alchemy by Tina Mars is winning, and I am very much excited for this one. I've been excited for all of these, so I could maybe try to get to all of these this month. I think in recent months, I definitely want to try to get to all of them. So I'm excited to bring you some reviews for these. I always feel privileged when I get an arc, so I'm very happy that these authors decided to take a chance on me to review their book, and hopefully it's my next 5-star and I'm obsessed and I'm screaming about it to you in the vlog and on Instagram and everywhere else that I talk about books. But we have come to the conclusion of our TBR. Remember, there's something coming soon to look out for. Very excited, and I'm sure you can probably guess, but it's going to be so much fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. And then yeah, please keep me accountable. If you don't see me working on this sweater in a vlog, yell at me. You have permission. I'm giving you permission to do so. Be like, hey Cassidy, how's the crochet sweater coming along? I do also need to finish my cardigan that I've been working on this month before I get to this, because I have to finish a project or else I'll never go back to it. I just know myself. But as soon as that's done, hold me accountable, please. But hopefully I'm also working on other hobbies. Maybe I'll get a puzzle, coloring. I've been loving cooking. I've been baking a little bit. So I'm in my grandma hobby era. Listen, hot girls have grandma hobbies. So I'm a hot girl with grandma hobbies. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a yarn emoji, something about crocheting, I guess. Let me know what's on your TBR for April. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the cardigan that I have been working on, I'll leave the vlog that I've really been working on my cardigan on in. I've been enjoying putting it into my content a little bit. And have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.